So good afternoon and welcome to today's webinar. My name is Rob Romanowski. I'm the Director of Sales Operations for 3HTI, and today we're going to take a look at Learn Online, which is a tremendous learning solution for those of you who are using Creo or Windchill. Now, training 3HTI, we were the premier training partner for PTC. We were the top training partner 10 years ago for several years. But things have changed. Companies are busier due to the recession back in those days. Afterwards, after we were leading in training, people stopped training. They were doing less with more people, or doing more with less people, and there was really no time to train. And I think, today when you look at it, we live in a society where we want everything instantly, like microwave ovens. We don't even wait in the drive-through anymore at a fast food restaurant. We have Uber Eats and DoorDash. So it's kind of crazy how impatient everybody gets. And I think in a lot of cases, there's, instead of taking your time up front, it's almost better to, or more acceptable to make mistakes as you're modeling and say, oh, well, I didn't know this or I didn't know that, and fix the mistakes later, which of course are most costly. But for whatever reason, that might be more understandable than somebody taking the time to actually train. So training has changed over the years. Instead of sitting in a 5-day course all week to learn Creo, things you might use, things you might not use, things have changed. Learn Online is a tremendous tool that allows you to learn Creo, learn Windchill in areas where you specifically need to learn it at your convenience. So these are instructor-led courses held by PTC. There are certifications available, and we're going to have Zach Carson from the Virtual Center of Excellence at PTC review this and give us some more detail about it. So without further ado, Zach, take it away, and thank you for leading us today.
Anytime, Rob. Hey, what an intro. I'll piggyback off of that a little bit now. So
Cool.
Here, Rob already hit on why companies need this. I'm going to hit on it a little bit more, but Rob gave a great intro there. So the first reason that we've kind of implemented Learn Online, and we think that this is something that everybody can use, starts with the fact that your prototypical, your classic way of training through written instructions just isn't really cutting it anymore. Those instructions are hard to follow. We've all been through trying to learn something, trying to learn how to execute a procedure just by reading written instructions, and it's not easy. For the majority of people, I would say, seeing how to do something, doing it yourself, being guided as you do it is a way more effective method of learning. Now, because of that, a lot of companies have started implementing e-training. The problem around e-training is, what do you do when you have questions? The videos are pre-recorded, which is nice. They're great. It's great to go on YouTube and see how somebody could do something. But if they're not doing it exactly how you would do it, then there still is some things that you're not quite understanding. There's the last issue is, what happens if your company has, say, an in-person meeting and you can't attend the session? I've experienced this personally. It's very rare that anyone sets up a session like this and everyone is able to attend. So people end up having really no idea what happened. Maybe there's some documentation, potentially there's a recording, but it's very difficult to get all of the answers to any questions that you may have. What PTC's solution to these challenges is PTC University, and this provides you with a few different options. The first is e-learning, like we just talked about. Now, this isn't the reason that we're here today. We're here for Learn Online, which is a little bit different, but e-learning is included in this package. So this is free. This is available to anybody with a Creo subscription. This is your pre-recorded content, your how-to videos. They're about 45 minutes to an hour long that users can access at any time. And this is really nice because these are on demand, and you'll get answers to or insight to particular topics without having to dedicate half your day to it. The reason that we're really here today is for the Learn Online subscription. Now, this actually brings in a subject matter expert to give you live training classes. They're about 3 hours long, and they give you the ability to ask questions live throughout the session. You are literally in a real class with a real teacher. And with the subscription, you'll have unlimited access to do these classes, as many classes as you want, and do each class as many times as you want. The last step to this is the PTC certifications. Now, these are a phenomenal way to gauge your progress, to evaluate your knowledge on the solution, to test yourself and see where you stand, see where you can improve. So you basically complete a certification exam, and once you get an 80% on that exam, then you get certified for that class. And that certification's valid for 2 years after it's completed. And these are included free with your Learn Online subscription. You can also pay to take these certifications a la carte, but if you have the subscription to all of the classes, then the certifications are just included in that. Looking more into the actual Learn Online features, like I said, they're all 3 hours. They're all instructor-led with a live teacher. Nothing is pre-recorded, and you have unlimited course enrollment. So if you take a course now and you feel like 6 months from now you need to do it again, refresh your memory, just sign up and reattend it. If you want to take a class for every single Creo module, go ahead and do it. These classes run on a global schedule, so you have offerings, I believe, every 3 hours, 3 or 4 hours. I think it's 4 hours actually. And it's across the globe. So really, regardless of the time zone, you're going to have some flexibility to find a class that you can fit into your schedule. You can schedule ahead of time. The classes are relatively small. We try to keep it really one-on-one with the instructor as much as possible. So there's a max capacity, I believe, of 13 users. And then you won't have much trouble getting into a class if you just schedule a little bit ahead of time, 3-4 days a week if you can, and then you'll be able to get into those classes. And then once you complete the courses, or like I said before, you just want to test your knowledge, you go ahead and take a certification. Now the certification is available really for each subcategory of classes, and you'll see what I mean by that whenever we actually look at the platform itself. It's not just broken down into Creo versus Windchill, versus ThingWorx. Within each solution, there's lots of different categories. If you're looking at Creo training, you have a category for basic modeling, you'll have a category for simulation, you'll have a category for sheet metal. And each one of those categories have their own certification exam. So you can actually, accurately tell if you're up to par on a particular category or, module that you might be working with. When it comes to the actual classes, what can you expect to see? Well, I've done these classes personally, and what happens is it starts with the instructor showing you a brief PowerPoint, essentially presenting the concept. Once that's introduced and they've gone through the concept, you have a general understanding about what it is, then they'll start to apply exercises. And the way this works is they'll share their Creo in the cloud environment, so you don't have to set anything up. You're not putting any of your IP at risk or anything. No preparation prior to the class. You just join the class, you join their Creo in the cloud environment, and they'll provide you with the data sets and they'll give you the exercises. So after the introduction, you get an exercise, you'll complete that, you'll ask any questions live on the spot to the instructor. You can type it in the chat, you can talk to them through your headset. And if you're confused on an exercise, they're going to take the time to clarify any confusion, to explain what they're doing, to make sure that by the time you actually leave the class, that you truly do understand the topic. The idea here is hands-on. We want you to be hands-on. It's way more efficient. It's way more beneficial for the people attending the class to learn that way, as opposed to, like I said before, reading those basic instruction manuals, even just watching an e-learning video. This is a whole different level, and it's a much, much better way to learn how to work in these different tools. Throughout the classes, the instructors will also give knowledge checks along the way. So there's questions, there's prompts that they'll ask you to complete, exercises that you'll do. And after they complete them, they're going to explain to everyone the answers or the process that they took to complete the exercise. If the instructor asks a question, you really don't know the answer to it, that's completely fine too. They're going to explain it thoroughly. They're going to have a discussion around it to make sure that you understand it. If you're struggling to grasp a concept, they will spend whatever time is necessary with you to make sure that whatever you were confused on, you're not leaving the class confused anymore. It's just like if you were in an actual classroom. And then on top of all the key concepts, you also just learn little tips and tricks around the tool. I remember whenever I started at PTC, I was taking the fundamentals class for Creo, and a lot of people were just seeing Creo for the first time, and they had no idea that you can use the center wheel on the mouse to rotate the model around. So something very basic and trivial, but little things like that that you'll get from the classes on top of all of the big idea, picks and clicks, different modules training. Last but not least, there's certifications. So you have these certifications, like I said, on the fundamentals level curriculum for each different module or extension. There's certifications for each and every single one of them. You complete that certification, get an 80%, and then you pass the certification. And these are actually a good way as well to show your knowledge to others in the industry. What we've started to see a lot is people put these on, they'll add them to their LinkedIn profile. And use it as a way to market themselves and kind of show their knowledge of the different tools in the industry. So without further ado, we will go ahead and jump into the actual platform, and I'll walk you through what Learn Online looks like. So this is just going to be accessed through your web browser. And there's different ways that you can find the different classes. There's divided into the different solutions that we offer here in the bottom: Creo, ThingWorks, Kepware, Vuforia, Windchill, MathCAD. We'll go into Creo today. And what you can do is explore or filter by the different training options. So if you want to go ahead and just look at the Learn Online subscription classes, that's the half-day classes, you click here. If you want to see that alongside the e-learning, you click there. If you want to take a specialization exam, the certifications, there's a button for that. You can also explore the courses by categories. So fundamentals, modeling, surfacing, sheet metal, assembly, all kinds of different categories that you can click on there. We've already separated the classes for you into these different categories. There's even a category for updates. So, what we've noticed is a lot of people, they'll go to a certain version of Creo. They're maybe skeptical or unsure about updating, and they want to see maybe what the updates in the newest release actually are and see if it's worth updating, or once they've updated anyway, see the updates and if there's anything of use there for them. So we have a category for that. Now you can access classes from here. What I personally like to do is I scroll to the top and there's just a view training catalog icon, and this breaks it down in just a manner that I prefer. It's on this little document here. And you can start to see all of the different classes. Now, since this is a newer platform, we also are constantly adding classes to this as well, different modules, different categories, different classes within categories that already exist. But you can start to see here some of the different classes. So let's say I wanted to learn sheet metal. I have 2 classes on sheet metal. I'm not sure when they're offered. What I can do is I can click on the information icon. I can see the course overview. If there's any prerequisites, we'll tell you the prerequisites are suggestions. You're not going to be locked out of a class if you haven't taken, the prerequisite. That's not the case. But if this is a class that I am interested in attending, then I can click on this hyperlink to find a class. I could do it right from the previous page too. If I just were to go to sheet metal and select on the class itself, it's also a hyperlink that takes you to the catalog with all of the listings for that, right? So they're offered pretty often. This one, it looks like, is weekly, bi-weekly, Okay, so it's not necessarily standard, but you could plan ahead. I mean, you can see here, if I wanted to attend a class, what is that, next Wednesday, I could get on that now. There's still seats remaining. But the classes are very personal. We don't overfill them or anything to where you don't get a chance to talk. We keep it very personal, because that's the most beneficial way for you to learn. Once you found a class and you're ready to actually schedule that class, then you can click Enroll Today, and that's going to take you to a screen that essentially just outlines the sessions. It makes sure that this is the session that you want to attend, and then if it is, you will just click this enroll icon, and it's going to add it to your catalog of classes that you are planning to attend. What it will do is it's going to put those into My Courses. All right, so I could just see a listing of courses. It will also add them to your calendar. All right, so we have a built-in calendar for you. I haven't attended any classes recently, but if I enrolled in one, it would appear on this calendar. And you could also just see the courses that you've attended in the past, right? So here's some of the classes I've attended. If I have one that I haven't started, if I've completed them, I even have some that are in progress that I signed up for, and unfortunately probably had something else come up and I wasn't able to attend. But yeah, so that's really how it's organized after the fact. Like I said, schedule ahead, plan ahead if you can, and that'll ensure your position in the class. So with that being said, that's really all that I wanted to go through for the demonstration of Learn Online. It really is a phenomenal platform for training. It's much more one-on-one. It's much more interactive as well. We're actually providing you with everything that you need to go into the class on the day of the class. No prep needed. Get in there and learn specific topics and make sure that it's more than just reading. You're actually executing it to the point that you can leave that class and immediately get to work and not have to pause every 2 seconds and go and ask for questions or go and reference a video. It's preparing you much more to work with our different tools and the different modules.
Excellent, Zach. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, this, as Zach pointed out and reviewed, this is tremendous. It's not just for Creo, it's also for Windchill. And one of the other benefits that we add at 3HTI as being a value-added reseller for PTC is that for our clients, we offer 1 hour of desk side coaching for every license that you own. Now we'll also do a minimum of 2 hours. So if you have 1 license, you get 2 hours. If you have 2 licenses, you get 2 hours. If you have 3 licenses, you get 3 hours. So the whole purpose of that is to help reinforce what you will learn using Creo Learn, and specifically point you in the right direction to be able to model and overcome any challenges that you have. It's interesting to see the feedback that we get from people who take us up on this offer, because a lot of times they think, like I said earlier, well, I don't have the time for this and I'm really busy. But what they find out is and I'm sure that's how you might feel too. I'm really busy. I don't have the time. I have deadlines, whatever the excuses may be. But what they find out is once they do it, they find that the time spent was invaluable. So if you're a customer, take us up on this, because we want to help you. This is free. It's free coaching for an hour for every license of Creo that you have, minimum of 2 hours. So take us up on this. We'd love to help you. And the other thing is, if you have any questions about Creo Learn, you want to learn more about it, you can respond to the email that we sent out. I mean, for the pricing that Creo Learn offers, it's basically the cost of a 2-day training class, and you get it for the entire year. It is very inexpensive, but it has to cost something if it has to have value. If it's free, then nobody would use it and everybody would be on it. So you got to have it's got to cost something. But for the value of what it costs, it is tremendous. So if you have any questions, just respond to the email that we sent out, or contact us at info@3hti.com. So Zach, thanks again for being on. We appreciate it. Next week, our webinar is going to be on mechanism dynamics. So keep an eye out for that invitation that will be coming out tomorrow. And have a great day, everybody. We appreciate it. Take care.